Hello, Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series. The 11th of June, 1983 is our episode for the moment. And good stuff here. Please like, subscribe, comment if you are enjoying this series. I'll be honest, I've got some challenges and would like to turn this channel into something that makes a little bit of side money in 2021. And so your subscription and comments and all of that would help with that. In any event, as we go through this beginning of this particular episode, Rip Rogers, who we've seen and who is a major force in the history of many great talents, Rip Rogers and Tim Horner have a basically an opening match, a decent match in and of itself. Horner has been a major force in the area for the last little while, probably 6 months or so, give or take a little. And we see him use power early and then get some hammerlocks, goes behind, and then side headlocks by Horner and tackle. And then we see some rather large body slams, goes behind and all of that. And then big tip up and over, side headlock takeover, and then again we see he holds on to the headlock, big axe handle by Rogers at a point. Horner fights up from underneath. There is a knee lift by Horner and a couple of shots into the corner, Irish whip and reversal by Horner, who hits a crossbody from the second rope on the inside and gets a victory here. Decent little first match. Tony Zane and Magnum TA is up next, and obviously, as one can imagine, TA gets some really good time here, ride time and the like. Basic stuff, nothing too terribly worth writing home about. Arm bars and holding on to the arm for quite a few minutes here. Then we see the continuation of the arm bar and kind of rolls through. Big back body drop up and over. And ultimately, we see TA with a huge atomic drop, and he gets a victory off that atomic drop. Mike Vachon and Tito Santana. I don't know much about Mike Vachon, to be completely honest. Tito, of course, a mainstay in the WWF even back to the early 80s. We know him primarily, though, for the 83 to 93 run, but he is here for a couple of months, ties up Vachon, who does not look like the Vachon family that I've come to know. Anyway, ties him up in a side headlock and some wrist locks, basic stuff. Santana does hit a few forearms and then does the boxing of the ears, ringing of the ears thing. That leads to him getting a bridging hammerlock type maneuver and actually a heel hook by the opponent, Zane. And then we see Zane trying to fight his way out from underneath. Doesn't exactly do too well, but he eventually, Santana gets the victory. Super Destroyer and King Kong Bundy versus Alberts and Carson. Basically a squash match for the oddball team of Destroyer and Bundy. Destroyer comes in, hits a big boot in the midsection, tag to Bundy. Bundy uses forearms and really basic stuff, body slam, and then a kick to the, I guess you could say, midsection. Irish whip and a back elbow by Super Destroyer, and sends him into the buckle. Big shots there. Bundy manages to go at this, and then I will be right back, as that is a sign that I need to take a phone call, but we will be back in a second. Then we see the continued foray of the natural Butch Reed. Reed basically goes on for several minutes in a pretty okay promo. I never saw Butch Reed as a great talker. I still don't. Although, to be completely honest, he did do better here than he does most of the time. He wants the Junkyard Dog. He wants the North American Championship. He wants an opportunity to be considered one of the best because he sees himself as one of the best. It's a pretty solid promo for the sake of kind of building Butch Reed as a star who remains a star through the majority of the Mid-South era for himself here. Certainly he wants every opportunity he can get, and he wants a piece of the Junkyard Dog. That's what he makes very clear. We move on to Ted DiBiase versus Charlie Cook. Cook, not a major star, but at the same time, it's a match joined in progress. We see DiBiase kind of catch a short knee and go to town pretty quickly. Cook is a guy who, hits on all cylinders, is pretty aggressive, strikes and body blows, catching DiBiase right under the chin and really quite aggressively and assertively handling things there. Irish whip, and DiBiase is sent into the buckle, and ultimately, we kind of keep going in that direction. Hard shots, and away we go. Sending him into the buckle, DiBiase dominates pretty convincingly. We do see him get the victory with or take the loss with a disqualification. Jim Duggan and Johnny Rich versus Mr. Olympia and Boris Zukov is your main event. They basically have a good 5 or so minutes. It's nothing really to write home about, but at the same time, it continues to solidify Duggan as one of, if not the top babyface in the area. It is clear that Duggan is continuing to be built around in the area and will continue to be built around for the foreseeable future. He continues to brawl. It is a stereotypical Duggan match. The nature of the match is, pretty simply put, kind of one-sided towards the heels, except when Duggan is in there. So certainly his partner, Johnny Rich, not carrying an abundance of the weight, but you wouldn't expect him to. But Duggan and Rich do get the victory here. We move on to another episode momentarily. We will be back with more right after this.